Hello, today I'm going to react to Helen Reddy, I Am Woman. I feel like this is famous, so I don't know if I've never heard it, but I definitely have never focused on listening to this. Like it may have been in a movie or something, but I've never listened to this. Like I've never searched for this or listened to this or like it's possible my parents played it. So, but I've never seen this video and I had no idea what she looked like. And seeing these little thumbnails, I'm like, oh, that's Helen Reddy. Like I think I've heard the name before. I think I'm gonna pick on this official 1972 video. Usually I know that a lot of these were like lip synced, but sometimes they're live, but usually they're lip synced. But that's okay. I'm just listening to the studio recording and then we get to see kind of a live whatever like version of it. And then at the end of the video, I'll talk about what I think afterwards and then I will show you guys how to put in a reaction request if you want to request something on my channel. Okay, let's go. Ah, peaceful, kind of country-esque.
I am woman, hear me roar, in numbers too big to ignore, and I know too much to go back and pretend, 'cause I've heard it all before, and I've been down there on the floor. No one's ever gonna keep me down again. Whoa, yes, I am wise, but it's wisdom born of pain. Yes, I paid the price, but look how much I gained. If I have to, I can do anything. I am strong, I am invincible, I am woman. You can bend but never break me, 'cause it only serves to make me more determined to achieve my final goal. And I come back even stronger, not a novice any longer, 'cause you've deepened the conviction in my soul. Oh yes, I am wise, but it's wisdom born of pain. Yes, I paid the price, but look how much I gained. If I have to, I can do anything. I am strong, I am invincible, I am woman. I am woman, watch me grow, see me standing toe to toe, as I spread my loving arms across the land. But I'm still an embryo with a long, long way to go, until I'll make my brother understand. Oh yes, I am wise, but it's wisdom born of pain. Yes, I paid the price, but look how much I gained. If I have to, I can face anything. I am strong, I am invincible, I am woman. I am woman. I am invincible, I am strong, I am
Okay, so I have thoughts. Okay, first of all, that's very clearly some kind of like feminist anthem, but I want to put this in context. I'm not from this era, obviously, but my parents were. Okay, so my mom graduated high school in 74. And I just want to point out a few things. Like she told me when she was in middle school, they had to wear skirts to school and dresses. They weren't allowed to wear pants. And so she's wearing pants. But my mom remembers when they were allowed to start wearing pants. I think it was either in seventh grade or ninth grade. So sometime around 1970 something, like early 1970s, she was allowed, like between like 1968 and 1972, she was allowed to start wearing pants to school. And that was like a big deal at the time. Okay. So the fact that she's wearing pants in the first place is wow, she is a strong woman. I am woman, whatever. Now, what's interesting is this requester had just requested a list of songs for me, and one of them was Charlene. I don't know me or something, whatever that was. Charlene, I want to find it because it was very interesting that these are requested together. It was called Charlene, I've Never Been to Me. Okay, Charlene, I've Never Been to Me. I just reacted to that like last night, so that's why it's on my mind. And when I listened to that, I was like, whoa, this is crazy. This song is about how you have like an obligation as a wife and mother, but like you may not even be happy with that, but you kind of have to do it because that's the life you made for yourself. That's kind of what that song's about. It's like I'm kind of depressed being only a wife and mother, but I have to be a wife and mother because I've already like laid my bed and I have to lie in it. And so that's what that song was about. And I actually was contrasting it with Steely Dan because I've been listening to so much Steely Dan, and like most of the Steely Dan people who comment on my videos, the fans are men and they're boomer men. And they were in the time of Steely Dan. And so I'm always trying to be like, guys, like I don't pick up on any of the innuendos, like the like sexual innuendos, like Fez is a condom. I'm like, I didn't know that. They're like telling me about acid test stuff. Like, I don't know what that is. I don't know who Kid Charlemagne is. I don't know what this, this drug stuff, showbiz kids, Vegas, all this gambling. I don't know any of that because it's just not like my understanding, I guess. And it's a very masculine band. It's like made for men by men. They're like Steely Dan songs are not made for women. Steely Dan songs are made for men. Okay? That is a fact. Prove me wrong. You can't. Every Steely Dan like look, this is my example. I have friends and the single friends, right? They're like, where should we go to meet guys? And then the really like Taylor Swift girls will be like, oh, maybe I'll meet a guy at a restaurant. Or, I'm like, you're not going to meet a guy at a restaurant. And they're like, well, what if we go to a wine bar that has like a really nice vibe? I'm like, no, that's feminine energy. Feminine and like wine bars that are pretty are made for women. Men are going to be at sports bars. They're going to be at the gym. They're going to be at the shooting range. They're going to be at the driving range for the golf. They're going to be at like sporty things, hiking things, fishing things, outdoor manly things. Okay. Women, meanwhile, are like playing with dolls and, like whatever. It's just like kind of women's nature to go to a yoga class. Men are only going to yoga classes to meet women. They don't actually want to do it. Some of them do. But I'm just saying most men would rather go fishing or whatever, or like go hiking. I'm generalizing. You guys get mad at me, but whatever. I don't think we can go against like thousands of years of evolution in biology. Let's be honest. So anyway, my point is, so here we have an early feminist anthem. I am woman. I almost wonder, like, was this propaganda? Like, no one's going to keep me down, born of pain. I am woman. You can't you can't break me. I was reading these lyrics here. Not a novice any longer. I am wise. I've paid the price, but look how much I gain. We can do anything. I'm strong. I'm a woman. It's almost like propaganda only because at the time this was so like, what? A woman wearing pants? A woman who is going to pursue male professions? Okay. This is what I know. My mom got to college in 1974 and she was pre-dental, like she was going to be a dentist because they told her she had to be a dentist. They said, this is the first generation where you're going to be able to be a doctor and you're going to be able to be a lawyer and you're going to be able to be a dentist and you're going to be able to do all these professions that were previously not open to women. Women could be teachers and secretaries and dental assistants. They could be nurses, but they couldn't be doctors, right? So like they were like, now you can do these professions. And so they were like, you must do these professions because you must. Well, it turns out my mom wasn't a very good pre-med student. She really didn't have the science like strength to do like OChem and like biology and all that. Like it really wasn't for her. Okay. So, but my point being, they really forced her into that because she could. That doesn't mean you should. Just because you can do something doesn't mean it's the right path for you, right? So, but my point is, this is such a different portrayal of a woman than I just saw in Charlene and requested by the same person. So I almost wonder if he's like wants me to examine the different gender roles put on women. Charlene, she's a wife, she's a mother. She is kind of unhappy in that, but has to stay in it because that's the message that it's too bad. You have a husband, go home to him, and that's it. Like, you made your bed. This woman's like, I don't know what my future holds, but I'm optimistic and I'm wearing pants and I am a woman and I am strong and I'm going to be able to, do whatever. And at the time, I think that was a message that a lot of girls probably needed to hear because they were raised in the 50s and 60s, probably them being like, oh, you're not as strong, you're not as smart, you're not as capable. And so this was like a big deal, right? Now, today, listening to this, it's almost like, why would we need a song like this? Because this is now inherent in our society to the point that now women are doing better in school. Women are more of college graduates. Women are almost out earning men in a lot of professions, which is now creating a big problem for men because a lot of men don't have jobs, especially when you take away manufacturing jobs in the Rust Belt and you take away traditionally male jobs like factory jobs and hard, manual labor and things like that, that traditionally men are going to work in oil rigs, not women. You know what I mean? Like, so it's like, if you take away all those kind of jobs and you only have it's just a big mess. So like, I don't have an answer. It's like, I think it was good that women were able to have more opportunities and to get credit cards and not have to stay in like abusive marriages in order to survive. I think that's a good thing. But I think it's also messed up that I don't know. It's just like two different portrayals of women. And then on the other hand, in 1972, I have all the Steely Dan music coming out. Charlene was like 97, so that was the aha era. But 1972, we're talking like Countdown to Ecstasy, and like Pretzel Logic came out after that. But I'm talking about Countdown to Ecstasy and that other one, whatever, the first two Steely Dan albums, which are all about like sex and vagabond and gambling and like violence and stuff like that. And I'm like, what a different world that men lived in than women. Okay. So that's just interesting to me. But again, she's wearing pants. She has like a very confident stature in this. She's like, I am a woman. I can do it. Now, by the way, her singing's great. Like I said, she doesn't oversing it. She doesn't like push her voice too hard. It's very pleasant to listen to.
Yes, I paid the price.
Yes, I paid the price. But that's very country to me, which I like.
But look how much I gained.
Look how much I gained.
If I have to, I can do anything.
If I have to, I can do anything.
I am strong.
Strong.
I am invincible.
Invincible.
I am woman.
But again, if a man today saying, I am strong, I am invincible because I'm a man, I think that would be controversial. But at the time, women were trying to catch up. Okay. But again, wearing pants, even just for a young girl to see this in the 70s would be like, wow, this woman is so confident. And, she's wearing pants and she has like kind of like I'm not going to say she's walking in a masculine way, but she's walking in a very confident way. So I don't know. You guys can disagree with me in the comments because I wasn't alive in this time period and I grew up in a completely different high school time period. I was in school in the 2000s, right? So it's like a totally different time to be coming of age. But obviously her voice is good. The song is catchy. It has like a nice like 70s vibe. And again, I'm out here contrasting 70s music all the time because I know the Grateful Dead. I know the Beatles. Then I got into Black Sabbath recently. I heard that. I've heard, so that's like the origins and then the progressive rock stuff, So there's just so much going on in this music period. So it's interesting that we have this kind of poppy, I'm not going to call it folk, but it almost feels like she sings a little bit country twang, but it's not country. But she has like that confidence. So I don't know. I like it, but I'm like, whoa, this compared to Charlene, compared to like Steely Dan, I don't even know what 70s I'm living in right now. And maybe that's the thing about the 70s is they were so confusing because 68, things just kind of break down post-Vietnam. All the roles were shattered. The hippies kind of broke down the establishment. And then it's like, well, what are we now? What is going on in society? What is? And then we have all this like post-war PTSD from the people coming back from Vietnam. And then we have women being like, oh, we can like be independent now and you can have jobs that were not open to you before. You can wear pants. I mean, like we're going to have the sexual revolution soon, birth control pill. Like it's like a lot's going to happen in the 70s. So acid tests, the LSD. So I'm just getting like a history lesson in the world through the music, which is what we did in music history in college. We learned about like you know, what was going on during Mozart's time, and then listening to Mozart and how Mozart's music was a reflection of the social and political movements of his time period, if that makes sense. So now I'm doing this, but for the 70s. All right, if you like what I'm doing here, great, subscribe. If you want to request, go to my form, which is found from this link, Linktree. Erica Reacts, Retro, that's me. Okay, all over my face is just everywhere. And then fill out the request form. And then if you want a tip, great. And then if you fill out the request form, you end up here and see here's where all my source comes from. So here you can see this person has 5 requests and 1 tip, which is fine. So I'm just gonna find the Helen Reddy comment, which is right here. And I'm gonna bold that so that I know, oh, it's this one. So this is I am woman. So I did that. And then I have a few more things to do. So that's bold. There's gonna be another Helen Reddy. There's gonna be a Leslie Gore and Mary McGregor, torn between two lovers, and then an Engelbert Humperdinck. That's a guy, but the last waltz. Weird. So this guy requested like 4 different songs by women, which seem to be very reflective of social constructs on women. So I'm very curious what the next reaction is going to be. So please subscribe. Please let me know what it was like in the 70s if you lived through this transition from like girls wearing skirts and being secretaries to being doctors. And I'm very curious by this because I grew up in that. The road had been paved by the time I came around, okay? But then we dealt with okay, now there aren't any men to marry because the women have better jobs than them. So there's always something. All right, let's get to the next video. Please subscribe. I hope you liked that. I hope I wasn't like just going on about, this is just how I think. I love having discussions. I love like kind of intellectual, political discussions. It's one of my hobbies in life. So I'm glad I can just talk to myself, to you, and you guys have to respond in the comments. Okay, thank you and bye.